Is this working? I think it is. Perfect. Good afternoon. So, it is taper time, as you already know. This is really complicated. The camera's up there, but I'm looking at myself here, so sorry I'm not looking at you for this. It's too confusing to work out. This is a podcast anyway, so I don't even know if you're going to be able to see me after this. It is the Extra Mile podcast. Why I'm doing this? Well, as I said, it's taper period now, and I want to try some new things, and something I wanted to try was a podcast, because I might potentially do a football or a darts one in the future, and I want to see if it works first of all, because I don't know how YouTube works with it. So I thought I'd give it a try to start with like this. So, today's theme is going to be on my T-Tame paper. It is 10 things I've learned during the ultra marathon training. So if anyone is tempted after watching my vlogs, anyone really tempted to sort of give one a go, these are the sort of 10 things I've learned and I think you would learn along the way. So we're going to start, not leave this too long. I don't want this to go on for too long because this is a bit of a trial. So 10 things I've learned. Number 1, you are going to think about training 110% of the time. Trust me, it consumes your life. Whether that's eating or being outside, whatever, at work, it just consumes your life. You're thinking, oh, I've got to do a run tomorrow, I'm going to be having this for dinner and protein, and you'll just be looking up things on the internet in your spare time, and you'll be really, really irritating to everyone. So yes, it will consume your life, and you'll be counting down the days. You'll know exactly how many days it is, especially if you're doing vlogs as well. So that is the first thing. It will consume your life. So just be warned, if you're doing a challenge, it will take up all your time. You won't be able to stop thinking about it. You'll constantly doubt yourself. I have changed my opinion so many times during this challenge. Honestly, I've been having sponges in my shoes, I've been eating different things, and one minute I think I've sorted it, and then the next minute I get an ache or a rub, and I'm thinking, no, these shoes don't work, or this doesn't agree with my stomach. You'll constantly doubt yourself, and you'll read things online, and people will tell you things as well, and you'll just be like, I'm not sure this works for me. So yeah, that is the second thing. You'll doubt yourself a lot, and I think the best thing to do is just experiment during that period, because you will never ever 100% know until you've given it a multiple attempts. You know, if you're wearing a pair of shoes, you're not going to know after the first run, because you're not going to know over the sort of different speeds you run at, different terrains, how long they last, all of those things. And that kind of leads on to number 3. You're going to be out a lot, and that means you are going to be recognised. The amount of times I'm out and I see the same cars, the same number plates, I recognise the number plates, and I think, I always see them, or I go to the gym, I always see them there, they're always there. Well, that's because I'm always out, and I'm always there. So you will be recognised. People may ask you questions, I see you all the time, what are you doing? And you'll be literally saying, well, I'm out doing a run, I'm doing an ultra challenge. It's always good though. You want people to ask, because it can be a way of getting extra donations and get your name out there. So don't see it as a bad thing. Some people might think, oh, it's ridiculous doing all this, but it's not always a bad thing. So you will be recognised. Number 4, and this has probably been the most important thing, particularly recently as I've got nearer, you'll spend a lot of money. I've bought shoes, sponges, tape, food, clothing, everything you can think of, and things you never would have thought of buying, you will buy. I bought second-hand shoes. I never thought I'd buy second-hand shoes. I bought, as I said, sponges to put in my shoes, and you know, you wear out your shoes so much. Honestly, I have a pair of shoes, normally 300 miles running in. 300 miles is a couple of weeks training, and your shoes are flat again, and then you kind of just need to use them for walking. So yeah, I think I've gone through about 5 pairs of shoes, and that's where they've really worn out, and I've worn them a lot. So just be aware, you will spend money, but don't be afraid to spend, because you need to spend well, because if you don't spend well and you spend cheap, you're going to end up spending even more regularly. So I would say just spend on what you need, and you know what works best for you. It doesn't matter how much it costs. Buy in bulk if you can, because then you don't have to keep waiting for things when it does eventually wear out. Number 5, you will lose weight. I have to say, the one thing I've noticed is you do lose weight, and you eat a lot. I mean, I feel so full today, because now I'm in the taper, I've cut down, I'm eating more as well, so I'm feeling really ready to go. But during that middle phase, when the training's really intense, you do lose weight, that is for sure. So it's really important that you keep your strength up, particularly if you're doing an ultra which involves sort of hills and off-road terrain, anything like that, rather than the flat roads, because you need the strength in your legs, but you also need that upper body strength. So if you will lose weight, definitely recommend lifting weights during that period as well, and having plenty of protein. So yeah, just be aware of that, because you also try and cut down because you think, I've got to be really healthy, I've got to do everything right. You don't. This is the one time you can eat a bit of rubbish, and it's okay. So eat rubbish, it's fine, it's not going to hurt you. This is the time you can have sugar. So if you like your chocolate, eat your chocolate during the training. It's better than doing it when you're not training. So number 6, actually, I kind of already said this one, trainers won't last long. So yeah, just be aware, you're going to need to replace your trainers a lot, and just be aware of where you can get them as well. Make sure you're buying them from a shop where you can get 3 or 4 pairs, because a lot of models, I've mentioned this in previous vlogs, a lot of models can change. So I've had running shoes, I had some Ride 9s, they're now on Ride 18, I can't buy them anymore. The reason I had to buy second-hand shoes is because I can't get them anymore, they're 6 years old. So what you like, get a lot of them, because you don't know, first of all, if they're going to always have your size, they're always going to be the price you want, and also companies will try and make more models of them to make more money every year. So yeah, just be aware of that. Number 7, you won't be able to touch your toes. I've never been able to touch my toes. If I'm being honest, I've never been able to touch my toes. But after a few days running in a row, even particularly with slow runs, you just lose your flexibility. Flexibility goes particularly in your hamstrings, so really important that you do try and stretch a little bit. Don't overstretch, because it actually makes your muscles a little bit tighter, I find. But you will struggle with flexibility a lot, and just be aware of that, because sometimes if you're not looking where you're going, I sort of pulled or tweaked my hamstring going down a dip in a pavement. So just those tiny little things, you just notice a little bit more that you don't quite have the same flexibility, even walking up the stairs. So try and stretch every so often. If you don't like stretching, have a hot bath or just something to keep your legs warm and loose. That works. And obviously rest, take the day off if you do feel really tight and you think an injury is coming, because that is a training day in itself. Number 8, people will think you're weird. I do weird things anyway, that's why I put it in the vlogs. Today I've had a vegan hot dog where I've stuck a banana in a piece of bread. I have tuna and apples as like a recovery thing. I put Huel rather than milk in my breakfast. People will think you're odd. I had a bloke wonder what on earth I was doing when I was walking around the field doing a GPS bunny for Easter. And I don't blame him, because it looks very odd. I'm walking in all funny sorts of angles. I do that to keep myself busy. I probably would say I didn't put it on here, but actually it's quite nice if you do have a running buddy in that sense. So yeah, you then don't get so bored, but come up with ideas, because even though they may seem weird, I've found for me, it's kept me going, because it's a lot of time on your own. And that is what I'm going to say. Number 9, you will be lonely. You probably, if you like going out with friends and stuff, you won't want to. I mean, I've never been outgoing, so it doesn't affect me, but I know people who do, and trust me, the minute they start doing an event like a marathon or an ultra marathon, they don't want to go anymore. They're very serious, and you are lonely, particularly if you're doing an event in the winter when it gets dark. I don't mind it at the moment. It's lovely and light outside, so I'm not really missing. There's people still around, but it is very lonely at times, particularly if you're tired and you need some support. So I recommend doing vlogs, because that's kept me going and just coming up with fresh ideas, because you're not probably going to have much of a social life. As I said, for me, it doesn't bother me, but if you're really taking it that seriously, you're going to certainly miss out on some things where you're not going to really want to go to them, because you're going to be too busy 100% of the time. You're going to be thinking about your training anyway. And then the last one, number 10, you will be amazed at the support. So if you're doing it for a charity, like I am, or if you're putting it online in whatever way, people you don't even know give you support, and you're like, wow, and sometimes I've heard people say, oh, or my mum's told me, they've been watching your vlogs, and I'm like, they don't really know me that well, why are they watching them? And I'm like, wow, that's unbelievable. I've had loads of support, whether that's been people on social media, whether that's been people I do know, whether that's just been sort of friends of my parents or whoever. You'd be amazed at support. I've had donations from so many people. I think I'm on 24 or 25 donations now, and this is my second fundraising event this year. So I do appreciate that some people are giving me double amounts of money this year. So for everyone that's done that, thank you very much as well. As I said, people are saying good luck to me and well done for this amazing challenge. I'm doing it because the charity is amazing that I'm doing it for. So I'm kind of getting the praise and the credit, but actually it's it's them that deserve it, because essentially that's why I want to do this, to help support them more. So you'll be amazed at the support. The community I live in is amazing. I think we always think that a lot of people aren't very nice. Actually, 90% or 99% of people are very nice. It's just that 1% sometimes that overshadow it, and they tend to be the vocal minority. So yeah, I find most people are very supportive and very kind. As I said, I've been amazed at how many people I don't know or don't particularly know me that well have supported me. So they are the 10 things I've learned through this Ultra Challenge. There's hundreds, literally hundreds of things. But yeah, they're the main ones as well. And as I said, it seems a crazy thing to do, but I do hope, even though I've sort of not sold it at times with some of the yoga stuff and all the other things I've done in my vlog, I'm hoping someone will watch this and go, actually, it seems quite good fun doing all this, whether that's doing vlogs for a challenge or actually just doing a challenge for yourself. I think it's really worth it. Obviously I haven't done it yet, I'm looking forward to it, but the training is part of that journey as well. And as I said, I've not followed the guide, I've just listened to my body, and hopefully those results will come. But let's hope this podcast works first of all. I've never uploaded it to YouTube, so if you do watch this, you do see me saying all these things, thankfully it would have worked. But yeah, this is the Extra Mile podcast. I don't know if there'll be another one, but if you do listen to this, I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you're enjoying the vlogs. Not long to go now. Catch you later.